Hey, Hound Dogs, I'm David Hankins,
I'm Paul Hankins, and I'm Trevor Hankins.
and you're on the air with Power Squared. Today we're going to be celebrating the 20th anniversary, a little belated, I guess, for God of War.
That's right.
Now, I have never played the game, but you guys have.
Yes.
So that I'll let you guys talk about God of War. So, how did you get interested in God of War?
Well, before we do that, we should probably say what God of War is about.
Okay.
It's a hack and slash series set in, at first at least, set in ancient Greece and follows a man named Kratos.
Yes.
And he in the first game he's on a quest for vengeance against Ares because Kratos wanted power to slay forget it's like the barbarians or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, he wanted power to slay an army, so Ares gave him that, but it came at a
Cost.
yeah, it came at a price. Yeah.
All right. So, it's a series of video games.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Created by David Jaffe.
Okay. How did you guys find out about God of War? Because 20 years ago you were pretty young.
Well, I think I had seen like box art and stuff for when the game was, or when it was still early in the franchise. I had seen the game boxes for it, but I waited until I was around the age rating to actually try to.
Okay. So you were the one that brought God of War into your lives, or?
Yes.
Okay. So what attracted you about God of War? Besides the box art. Do you like Greek mythology?
Yeah.
And it sort of plays a little bit into it.
Yes.
Sort of, I assume, kind of loosely, but.
There are some things about it that are accurate to Greek mythology, but it does take some liberties, especially in God of War 3.
Yes.
So, okay.
But I guess it's more like it's accurate to a point.
Yes.
Okay, so 20 years ago, what came out?
Started with the original God of War on the PS2.
Okay.
We have our copy signed by Steve Bloom, who voiced Ares in the game.
Okay. Okay, so.
Oh, and Cory Barlog.
Okay. And who's he?
Cory Barlog has worked on God of War. He's best known as the director of God of War 2 and the Norse games.
Okay.
Yes.
So when did you first play this game? Was it 20 years ago, or was it? It's rated M, so you must have waited.
Yeah, I think it was.
Like a good parent wouldn't let you give you an end game, I'm sure.
I think we started playing God of War when God of War 2 was still newer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is when it says it's rated M?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means you have to be at least 17 years old
Wow.
to play it,
Okay, so you waited till you were 17 to play?
or around.
Okay. You have to be mature enough to handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're not going to. My guess is they're not going to not sell it to you, but you just have to not play it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you enjoyed the game?
Yes.
All right. And so that led to.
After that was God of War 2,
Okay.
which our copy is also weird trying to.
Yeah.
Is also signed by Cory Barlog. Who directed this game. Before we just burn through the entries, I want to say that God of War 1 actually has a mature storyline.
Yes.
So at the time, it was considered one of the few M-rated games to actually earn the mature rating
Okay.
Yes.
because it handled a mature story in a mature way.
Okay. When you say mature story, what do you mean?
Well, mature as in, like, there's themes of revenge, betrayal. There's a twist where, I guess, spoilers, right?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Hold your tongue.
We learn that Kratos is the ghost of Sparta because of his ashen skin.
Okay.
And we learn that that's because Ares forced him to kill his own family,
Or
Wow.
tricked him
into killing his own wife and daughter.
Wow.
So their ashes are fused to his body as a permanent reminder.
Wow. That is pretty. That's pretty mature shit.
Yeah.
So, okay. So,
But Kratos does actually have some character depth, and that it's kind of explored more in God of War 2,
Yes.
where Cory Barlog, as the director, took it in a kind of continued that momentum.
okay, it says it's 2 discs.
Yes.
So you played part of the game and then.
The second disc is a DVD.
Oh, okay.
It's a special features disc.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So
I just checked.
it wasn't from memory. Okay. So, all right. So you talked about now you're playing God of War 2.
Yes.
It also has mature themes, I assume.
Yes.
In that game, it takes place like it follows the first game, where Kratos is the god of war. You can still call it that. Anyway, I don't know why I said that. Anyway, and Zeus takes Zeus tricks Kratos into sealing away his god powers.
Okay.
So Kratos starts on a quest for revenge against Zeus.
Okay. So I don't know that much about Greek mythology, but everything I've seen, Zeus is kind of a, can't turn your back on him kind of guy.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, you got anything more you want to say about?
God of War 2, the gameplay is kind of the same from God of War 1, but more.
Yeah.
And that has one thing about this is the spectacle.
Now, when you say gameplay, are you kind of immersed in the action? I mean, is it your point of view, or are you manipulating Kratos, or how's this?
It's what do you mean?
Well, describe the gameplay.
Right. You have the Kratos wields the blades of chaos.
Okay.
They got different names in some games, but for simplicity, it's blades of chaos. And Kratos can use those to slash at enemies. You can also swap between different. You can swap between different weapons and use magic and stuff. For the most part, you can get away with just using the blades. Another thing is that the chains of the blades are on attached to chains that are fused to his skin, right? They are burned onto his skin as a permanent reminder of his oath to Ares.
Well, that sounds really painful.
All the Greek gods can be effed up.
Okay, so
In this game, he also attempts to part of it is he attempts to go back in time to
sure.
undo what Zeus did.
All right. I assume time travel is part of the mythology. What he figures out way back in time.
It's I believe it involves the Sisters of Fate. Yes. It kind of does its own spin on the sisters. So it's also about. So the game is also about. This game is also about whether or not you can alter fate.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Like, can Kratos escape events that are fated to happen or not?
It's not saying are you predestined to do things, but can you change what's gonna happen or has happened to you? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So
That sounds kind of deep for a video game.
yeah. Now, something unique is Give a second. Yeah. So in between main games, there was a mobile game.
What? Okay.
And it's not really that well known at this point.
Can't even really play it anymore unless you go through like emulation.
Yeah, but I have this old phone
Okay.
that has God of War Betrayal on it. Probably can't see it very well here.
Yeah. Okay. I see us. Okay.
Yeah. So, God of War Betrayal, it is canon according to one of the one of the artists.
Yeah.
But it's kind of unremarkable compared to the rest of the series. It was impressive at the time.
Yeah.
How did you play?
It takes the console games are like 3D third person. Betrayal translates that into a side scroller.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so it takes the familiar God of War elements and puts them in a 2D,
Sort of like Sonic.
I guess.
Okay. All right. And so you're manipulating the keys to.
Yeah.
Wow.
And even in that game,
Oh yeah, I forgot about the sliding keyboard.
Yeah.
even in that game, you can pretty much get away with the blades.
Okay. Yeah. Imagine it'd be hard.
I'll just turn this off because I don't think we.
Need to go over it anymore.
Yeah.
So did you like this?
At the time, I really liked it.
Yes.
We played it a lot.
You didn't play it during school, right?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just kidding.
Well, not during class.
I'm just kidding.
It takes place. It takes place. It came out after God of War 2, but it takes place before God of War 2.
Okay. So, did you like that game?
Yes.
And I assume that was not the end of the God of War.
Certainly not.
Okay.
So, actually,
So God of War 2 ends on a cliffhanger.
yes.
I don't know if you can hear this, but there's dogs barking.
The cost of doing this live. Anyway, God of War 2 actually ends on a cliffhanger.
Okay.
So did Betrayal, but that never got
resolved.
No. That's great.
Before God of War 2's cliffhanger was resolved, another I guess mobile game on this time on the PSP.
That'll be a handheld game.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I mean.
PSP, for people that are into gaming, would know what that is.
Yeah.
Even I know what the PSP is.
That's the next one was God of War. It came God of War Chains of Olympus, which is a prequel to the original God of War.
Does this have those little? Is this that little
Yeah, UMD.
funky little disc?
Yeah.
UMDs, yes. Universal Media Device or
Universal
disc?
Media Disc.
Yeah.
So anyway, Chains of Olympus is a prequel that takes place before the first game,
Yes.
and it contextualizes Kratos' relationships with the gods.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I just remembered what the plot was about because it gets kind of funky. Because at first it's about Morpheus.
Yeah.
They shrouded the world in darkness. But then at some point it kind of slides into being about
Persephone,
Persephone.
Okay. It was Persephone.
Hades' wife.
Yes. Like she was using Morpheus. It turns out she was like using Morpheus for her own end goal.
Yeah. But anyway, it was a good PSP experience, except dodging was difficult.
Yeah, because I don't have it on me, but the PSP it only has like one stick, so you had to one stick, so you had to like hold both shoulder buttons and then
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
well,
So it was a little awkward.
yes.
All right.
But for an earlier PSP game is still impressive how they managed to
Yeah, condense it.
Yeah.
So then after Change of Olympus,
was the after Change of Olympus in preparation for to hype people for God of War 3, they released God of War collection for PS3, which is HD remasters of the first two games.
Okay.
I think this actually excuse me. This is what actually started the whole HD collection thing.
sounds right. If you have a PS3 still, that's a good way to play God of War 1 and 2.
Yes. Because they did that so that more people could play the first two games before the third one.
Because that was going to be on PS3.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That was a big, that was a system seller.
Now, PS3s weren't necessarily, they were not backwards compatible, or they were and then they weren't.
Yeah, they were in the first model, I guess the fat model, and then after that they took away the backwards compatibility for cost.
Well,
which I'm curious.
it's like if I hope I'm not misrepresenting it, but I think it's like all PS3 models are backwards compatible with the PS1, but only like the fat one is backwards compatible with PS2.
So the 3 is backwards compatible with PS1?
Yes,
It's kind of weird to jump over to the 2.
because 2 requires a special chip,
Yeah.
and that was expensive to put in.
Okay.
And that's one.
Right. Okay. But you could play any game you had that was a PlayStation game.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, with the hype, they put out God of War 3.
Yes, which resolves the cliffhanger of God of War 2.
And it was one of the only 2 games that
Yes.
and we actually watched it sell systems.
Okay.
This is actually the story also actually follows up on Chains of Olympus, so it should play Chains of Olympus, still play Chains of Olympus before God of War 3.
Okay.
As the whole thing with Persephone actually comes back.
So with God of War 3, we actually got the Ultimate Edition, which came in like Pandora's box.
Yes.
So the title screen for our copy actually says Ultimate Edition, which is kind of rare.
Yes.
But in any case, God of War 3 is generally considered the best game of the Greek era, and that's because it is.
Still my favorite entry in the series. I replayed the Greek games recently, and I felt like I got more out of them than like when I was a high schooler.
Well, all right.
Well, because in high school we had more of a kind of a surface level understanding of what was going on, and then as we got older, we better understood the more of the themes of what was going on, and we got a lot more out of it.
Okay.
What I like about God of War 3 is it's still my favorite because it's sort of the culmination of Kratos' character arc in the Greek games.
Yeah, so you mentioned, you just said the Greek game, so I assume then it spins into something else at some point?
Yeah, when we get to there, it
Okay,
does.
all right,
They changed pantheons,
Okay.
Yes.
so we're still in the Greek era because later they get into the Norse mythology.
Okay.
Yes.
So with God of War 3,
As in God of War 3, Kratos is still going after Zeus, but as seen at the end of the second game, he has help from the Titans, who also want to kill Zeus.
So, and the rest of the Greek pantheon is in Kratos' way
Okay.
because they're on Zeus's side. So, God of War 3, Kratos still faces a lot of, grapples with like revenge and betrayal as a continuing theme from the games, and that leads when he does finally get his revenge against Zeus. The ending has him realizing what that wrought on the world, and he realizes that although he did get his revenge, it came at a very heavy price. So he tries to. So he has a really big leap in character development as a result of his actions.
So he changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just goes through one epiphany.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say.
4 games in. Or 5. Okay.
And it's a very mature ending that sets up his character arc in the Norse games perfectly.
Okay.
Yes. Something about God of War 3 that I noticed more on my last playthrough was it's like Kratos does go after the other gods, but he's not doing it because they're also on his he's not doing it because they're also on his list, or if you know what I mean.
He's not doing it because he wants to kill them.
He only wants to kill Zeus, but he ends up killing the other gods because they were trying to stop him from reaching that goal.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds bloody.
Yes.
Very.
Okay.
It also has the best gameplay of the Greek era because although it's still kind of the same thing, it manages to do it all but better, and it actually forces you to use your entire arsenal. So fights against enemies and bosses feel a lot more varied.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So are we ready yet to move on?
Yes.
So how does it go from Greek mythology to Norse mythology?
Well,
Does Kratos just move?
there is a slight detour before we learn that.
Okay.
Around in the same year that God of War 3 came out, there was another PSP prequel game.
Okay.
Which is about Kratos trying to rescue his brother Deimos,
Yes.
who has a kind of not a great relationship with Kratos,
Okay.
but Kratos still goes out of his way to save him.
This is his brother.
Yeah,
You do those things for family.
yeah,
It's like Deimos. Deimos was actually teased as far back as like the bonuses in the first game. Deimos was the backstory is that Deimos was taken because of there was a prophecy involving I think it was Zeus being killed by someone with a red mark, and Deimos was born with that red mark, so he was taken. But in honor of Deimos, Kratos had that same mark tattooed on him.
So basically, Zeus ended up fulfilling his own
Yes. Okay.
prophecy.
Yes.
Yes.
The classic, like your attempt to stop it from happening, it still happens.
Okay.
So, Ghost of Sparta also contextualizes Kratos' relationship with the gods and in relationship to Deimos, and it's a good capstone for the Greek stuff.
Okay.
Yes.
Then we got.
Then after that, they gave the PSP games the same treatment as the PS2 games with God of War Origins Collection.
Okay.
Which is basically the way to play the PSP games because, for one, if only because it fixes the dodge thing by mapping it to the other stick.
Yes.
It also kind of shows Ghost of Sparta actually does come close to like PS3 level graphics.
Yeah.
Then
They had to milk it one more time.
This is God of War Ascension.
Okay.
This is a steelbook that was from a special edition.
So anyway, that's basically them milking the Greek era one more time. Because we needed yet another prequel.
Really?
This one is a prequel that takes place before all the other prequels.
In elementary school or something? What's-
It's trying to further contextualize his oath to Ares, but it feels kind of pointless.
Okay.
It's basically an unnecessary entry. Yeah, an unnecessary prequel.
As most of them are.
At this point, the gameplay formula was kind of getting a little stale, because they do try to mix it up a bit by allowing you to since it's early Kratos, they
Have other weapons you can use.
yeah, like including stuff from like the environment, but it was still like
Like, this is starting to get old now.
Yes.
Okay.
And then
How many games is that then? Or
original games.
not counting Betrayal 6.
okay.
Then, following that, they later ported God of War Collection to the Vita.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, I only played like the first game off of this, but it's okay.
It's on the Vita. And then they remastered God of War 3, I believe, in anticipation of...
The next entry.
Yeah. So there's no reason not to play this if you have a PS4 or PS5, because it's God of War 3. You can't really go wrong with it.
This also has This has... The original release did have some DLC with like alternate costumes and stuff. This has all of them.
Yeah. And then we finally move to...
All right, I stopped it. I stopped asking.
So we're finally at the Norse era.
Okay,
So-
how do they transition to the Norse era?
Kratos tries to start over,
Okay,
but he goes to the...
far north.
He goes to a land with the Norse pantheon
Yes.
and starts a new life with... It opens with him burying his wife,
Yeah.
and he's also raising his son Atreus.
Okay,
I will mention, first off, this is a steelbook for another special edition, but it's just called God of War.
okay,
It's just called God of War to indicate it's a new start.
Yes.
okay. So he buries his wife. Didn't she die like 5 games ago?
It's a new wife.
Oh, a new wife. Okay.
Yeah.
All
He
right.
has a new family.
Ah, all right.
He,
What kills her?
it opens with her being given a Viking funeral.
That's right.
And so the main goal of the game is they're trying to
They're trying to go to the highest
They-
peak.
they're trying to go to the highest peak in the 9 realms to spread her ashes.
Because that was her,
Wish.
yeah. And they run into trouble along the way because some of the Norse gods aren't too happy about someone's presence there.
Okay.
So he ends up having to fight a handful of people
Yes.
on the way to fulfilling his goal. And we get to see a more... Kratos has become more mature because he doesn't want revenge anymore. Because he's realized how self-destructive that was at the end of God of War. How destructive that was at the end of God of War 3. So he tries to leave that behind him, but the events of his journey have him sort of realizing he can't completely escape the fact that he is the ghost of Sparta.
Mm.
And then
Actually, during the game, his son Atreus learns that he is part god. And
because Kratos...
part of the journey is Kratos trying to make sure Atreus does not repeat his mistakes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's trying to do better through his son, but he's realizing how difficult that is for gods.
Okay. So this was launched on the PS4.
Yes.
Yes. This also changes up the gameplay.
It's still third person, but it's kind of over the shoulder.
Okay.
So they changed the combat system around that. So it's still kind of a hack and slash, but it's not exactly the same because it also mixes up with the Leviathan axe,
Yes.
which Kratos can also throw and retrieve
Okay.
Uh,
on top of just like swinging it.
And in the Greek games, the Blades of Chaos also had like the powers of fire.
Mm-hmm.
The Leviathan axe has the power of ice.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I am realizing kind of reflects Kratos' changed demeanor.
I was also just thinking that.
Are these games also rated M?
Yes.
Okay.
very much. And one notable thing about it is there are no camera cuts. It's a one.
Oh, that'd be-
It was something Corey Barlog wanted to do with the newer Tomb Raider games, but he couldn't. So he realized that there was potential for that with God of War.
so you're always seeing the same view. You're never reverse shot or anything like that kind
Well,
of stuff.
it does change. It does change angles, but there are no cuts.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's a oneer basically.
All right.
And yeah, so it's a pretty well done father-son journey.
Okay.
And again, it continues pretty nicely from the ending of God of War 3.
Okay.
The enemy variety's a little, but also I forgot who all signed this, but I know one of them is Corey Barlow.
So then we got to the most recent game, which
Sure.
is
God of War Ragnarok.
this.
It was made for PS5 and PS4. I got the native PS5 version.
Because why not?
So Ragnarok is something people may in there. Oh, Thor, but this has got. I mean, Ragnarok means something.
Yeah, Ragnarok is kind of the end times in Norse mythology. So this is about the fact that Ragnarok, because of the ending of God of War, I'll just say 4, Ragnarok is coming.
Okay.
They cannot stop Ragnarok from coming, so they are preparing for Ragnarok to come.
Yes.
And Kratos is still trying to sort of... Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, a big theme of Ragnarok is fighting to kill versus fighting to survive.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, he's been trying to survive, and the other gods won't let him. It's because we learn that actually at the end of God of War 4 that Atreus is actually Loki.
Okay. Okay.
So the gods are after him.
Okay.
Kratos named him Atreus after a Spartan soldier,
Right.
he says that he tells Atreus that his mom wanted to call him Loki.
Okay. So it sounds like it's crossing over into the Marvel.
Marvel did not invent Loki or
So Loki is is it the same sort of relationship that he's a adopted son, or is he just evil, or what's the why after Loki?
They're after Loki because in Norse mythology, Loki manages to kill forgetting his name right now.
Loki starts Ragnarok, basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
by killing a specific person.
Do they think if they kill Loki, they'll prevent Ragnarok from happening?
Yes.
Okay.
Guess what still happens?
I'm gonna guess he doesn't get killed, and he kills and starts Ragnarok.
Kratos tries to
Was it Balder?
yeah, Balder.
Okay.
Balder is the sort of main antagonistic force of God of War 4, and like in Norse mythology, he is invulnerable.
Of course.
And he couldn't die or feel pain. But he's shot with this ambrosia, and that allows him to actually feel pain again, which he actually wanted.
Because of that, Ragnarok is inevitable.
Yes.
Then this also more closely examines the father-son dynamic through not just Kratos and Atreus, but also Thor and his relationship with Odin.
Okay.
And
This is starting to sound like I'm joking. And Marvel obviously tapped into the same thing too.
Yeah.
So.
as the Marvel comics took inspiration from
Norse mythology, yeah.
And actually, the Thor in the game is very different from Chris Hemsworth. Thor.
like he's built more like in Marvel, Thor is more like a bodybuilder, and in Ragnarok, Thor is more like a strongman.
Which is actually more accurate to his portrayal in the mythology.
Yeah. Well, Stan Lee had.
Well, anyway.
Well, they were trying to make it different, I guess. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this also examines a cycle of violence within Kratos' family, because in the Greek games it's established that the father is inevitably like the son inevitably tries to kill the father.
Yeah.
In Zeus tried to kill his father.
Is it Kronos?
I want to say Kronos, the Titan.
Okay.
And Kratos kills Zeus.
Right.
So Kratos, I think, at some point is worried that Atreus will try to kill him.
Sure. That's how you move up, isn't it?
So he's worried that cycle will continue with his own son.
And at the same time, the end of times are coming.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter to them.
It also explores themes of fate somewhat similarly to God of War 2 without time travel shenanigans, because I forget what they're called, but there are in Ragnarok shows there are these three sisters that are sort of the equivalent to the Sisters of Fate.
Yeah. So Ragnarok, kind of a lot happens in the story. But that's because due to how development was going, they shoved 2 games worth of content into one.
Oh, so it's pretty long.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we'd be here all day if we tried to say everything that happens, but a big part of that is actually they try to resolve the conflict with Odin peacefully, but then Odin does something that establishes that peace was never an option. So at the end, Kratos realizes he has no other choice but to kill Odin.
Mm-hmm.
So he does so not necessarily fueled by a thirst for revenge, but because it's the only way to stop what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, Thor gets in his way, but Kratos still tries to resolve that non-violently.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So.
And Odin is a manipulative asshole.
Yeah. Well, all the gods in these stories are.
Yeah.
So. So does that the world come to an end at the end of the game, or is there like room for something, Bond will return kind of thing?
Well, Ragnarok is handled in a way that they can still do more after after stopping Odin.
Okay.
And it's the story is told pretty well, and it is a good. Could have been 2 more games, I guess, but they do a pretty good job of wrapping up the Norse arc, because they're still gonna make more God of War, and we hope it's Egypt,
Okay.
because they've been teasing Egypt really hard
Okay.
Since Ascension.
Yeah, and we personally find Egyptian mythology fascinating as well.
Okay. So there's more to come in this.
Yeah.
As for the combat, the gameplay, I liked how they expanded on what they did with the previous games. They added a lot more variety, but I think it was kind of held back by also needing to be made for PS4 because of at the time, at around when the time it came out, the pandemic made it hard for Sony to like get parts and stuff to meet demand.
Yeah, so it was kind of bottlenecked by the limitations of the PS4, so that's why when you go between locations, it takes a really long time to do that, or when you're, more specifically, when you're switching between realms in the hub stage, the process to do that takes kind of longer than it should, so they fill that with a lot of talking.
Okay.
And it's because they have to take the PS4's loading capabilities into account. So we can't have like exclusive content between both games.
Right.
So PS5 has to go at the same pace as the PS4 version, and again, there's a lot of long sections where they're like rowing a boat or walking and talking because they have, yeah, and on top of that, it's just also 2 games worth of story.
At one point, I was feeling a little exhausted.
So it's a good game, but it's also admittedly bloated.
And also, it has puzzles, but the game thinks you're stupid.
Is that
If you fail to solve it the first time, they tell you the solution, which is not fun.
Well, they also just start telling you the solution if you just stand there for 5 seconds. It was like, shoot there.
Like really impatient.
Yeah,
Okay. So
you can't turn that off.
All right. So
Still a good game.
all right.
Yes.
So that's not the end of the series. Will continue.
Yes.
Hopefully in Egypt.
Yes. Actually, Ragnarok had a bit of DLC later called Valhalla, which
It's a roguelike, right?
yeah.
It's a roguelike set in Valhalla. And it's sort of finishing Kratos' character journey from the end of Ragnarok. In that case, coming to terms more with, fully coming to terms with his past self, and now he doesn't have to be defined entirely by his past reputation.
Okay.
It also actually justifies the existence of Ascension.
All right.
Yeah, because something from it actually comes back.
Yes.
So Valhalla also sort of a tribute to the series as a whole.
Right.
And in some ways, Ragnarok also feels like a tribute to what came before. So like they're honoring the past.
So, video games. Is there any other media that came out related to?
Yes.
Yes.
How did I know?
I'll mention also we actually have the soundtracks for 3 of the games. I like the God of War 3 between these 3. I like the God of War 3 soundtrack the best because it was more memorable to me.
It just has really good music.
So CDs.
Yes.
And there are a few.
What?
They also entered the realm of comics.
You're kidding me.
And they actually tell different parts of the story.
Now, are these new stories related?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're original. It's original material.
Yes.
So the first one was a DC Wildstorm book written by Marv Wolfman.
Oh.
Yes. He's best known, probably best known for Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
Which was
Also,
a major DC event.
And also, his name was sort of tied to comic book lore. You couldn't have someone named Wolfman.
You couldn't say Wolfman in a comic, but
They're like, that's his name.
Yeah.
So then that was the first crack with the Comics Code Authority.
And we actually, I met him at Comic-Con a few years ago. So yeah.
when they proved Wolfman was actually his name, then that opened the floodgates.
So anyway, this is the Greek era.
Yes, and Marv Wolfman is actually a fan of the games.
Good. books about.
I guess he's after the ambrosia of Asclepius.
Yes.
It takes place at two different points of Kratos' lifetime, but it takes place at two different points in the timeline, but still the same goal of finding the ambrosia of
Asclepius.
Asclepius. I actually like the comic, but it's kind of, I have the individual issues, as this was 6 issues, but I would say it's kind of better read in a trade format, because that makes it easier to keep track of, like, it took me like a couple reads to better understand like the transitions between the two different time periods.
So that's easier to digest in trade form.
Yes. I would recommend this. Good luck finding it anymore.
Okay. Well, it
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
So then
Is that
there
what eBay's for?
We said DC Wildstorm because the first 5 issues were published under Wildstorm, but then Wildstorm at some point Wildstorm was fully absorbed by DC, so the 6th issue and the trade were released by DC.
All right.
So then there are 2 comics set around the Norse era.
Yes, from Dark Horse.
Yes.
The first one, God of War, is a prequel to God of War 4.
Okay.
Good luck finding it.
Yeah, when I was...
We had to resort to a slightly damaged copy just to save money.
Yes.
Okay. Slight damage.
Yeah.
Well, just slight wear somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Excuse me. There was a issue number 0 that was released digital only. It doesn't say it, but this actually does collect that issue. I'm sorry, I'm trying to remind myself what the plot is, but it's about it's basically about Kratos sort of adjusting to life in the Norse
Okay.
yeah.
the Norse
Realm.
Norse wilds, while also still trying to escape his past.
Of course.
I would still recommend this if you can get a copy. So then there was a follow-up to that called God of War Fallen God.
Okay.
It also teases Egypt really hard.
Yes. It's, an Egyptian god actually does show up in it.
Okay.
What is with me right now? So this is sort of a bridge between 3 and 4,
Okay.
and is also a lot easier to find.
Okay.
Very easy. Get it while you can.
Yes. It follows up on what happened. It follows up on what happens at the very end of God of War 3, and it's about Kratos trying to trying to find a way to like start over.
Always seems like he's looking for somebody starting over. Okay. So, are there other comic books or trades that you don't have that you know about, or is this pretty much it?
We have it all.
So there's no movie, basically?
They did actually try to make a movie, but it fell through, and I think right now there's supposed to be an Amazon Prime series based on the Norse games.
We're not too confident about that one because I believe the showrunner for that refused to play the game.
He admitted he is not a gamer and has not actually played the games.
So that doesn't bode well.
No, it doesn't.
This
Contrast that with Fallout, which was made by actual Fallout fans and feels like it was made by Fallout fans, so that resulted in an actually good show.
Is it also possible, though, I mean, that work for Fallout, but I mean that if you're such a fan of something that you might, like, not see the problems with the story and all that? I mean, is that also a possibility that if you come in with fresh eyes, you might...
Well, what also helped with Fallout was Bethesda were involved
Right.
in the production. Just like with the Sonic movies, Sega was kind of involved in the production.
And the director of those movies was someone who actually worked on at least one of the games.
And it is possible to have a fresher take, kind of like how I think we read an article about the director, and it brought up that Walton Goggins, who played the ghoul in Fallout, he intentionally didn't play the games just so he could have a fresher take on his character, and that worked out well.
Okay.
But we have had other recent video game themed projects where it was clear that the people involved did not touch the games, like Halo.
We heard that. We haven't seen the Halo show. We had heard, like, the people who worked on that were proud of the fact that they did not know anything about Halo.
No, that's an interpretation anyway.
Okay.
But
I don't want to put words in their mouth. That's what an interpretation we've heard.
and then like
It's your show. You can do it.
then you have like Netflix Resident Evil. It was clear they didn't really understand the game.
Yeah, it's just a big franchise they can exploit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so not too sure how God of War is going to play out. Hopefully it's good. Not sure it will be, but more just it's easy to get jaded, but I guess you just have to be at least cautious.
All right.
It's more of a wait for reviews kind of.
So, getting back to this,
Yes.
you would recommend which game? God of War 3? Over them all. What's the best game?
Well, you can't exactly start with God of War 3, because if you do, you're missing out on, like, a lot of context.
But if you didn't care about the story, God of War 3 is definitely the best of the Greek games.
For its gameplay.
Yeah.
But you should build up to it. You should do 1 and 2. And
Yeah.
You should do
Yes.
the work.
Yeah.
I would recommend playing the games in release order, because the story makes more sense
Build
that
on
way.
itself, yeah.
Yeah, even the prequels are sort of written with future knowledge in mind, as they hint at events that you've played in the main game.
Okay, well, that would make sense.
If you're already familiar with God of War, you can play them in whatever the hell order you want.
But so
If you're,
you got to play them in order.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can theoretically start with the Norse games, because that was kind of a soft reboot, but if you do, I would still recommend going back to experience the Greek games for better context, because
Or at the very least, read about them.
yeah,
There's some of
because,
them you can't play.
Yeah.
because Ragnarok leans a lot more into the Greek stuff. So you should at least.
Let me ask, where'd you get these T-shirts?
There was a Gallery Nucleus exhibition for the 20th anniversary of God of War. And this, for the celebration in general, this was a shirt that that was going to be sold.
Right.
They were actually going to sell shirts with all 9 game logos, including Betrayal.
Uh-huh.
And they're actually available online right now.
Yeah. I wanted to get this with the Norse logo instead of the Greek Omega, but they didn't have it in my size.
Yeah, obviously that's where they were at WonderCon. Somebody ran out day 1. They didn't have extra large, and
Yeah.
What did you come here for? But, yeah, all right.
What's interesting is that actually did feature like concept art from the games, and it actually acknowledged betrayal, which also got also got its own shirt.
Like I said.
Yes. So to me, that actually sort of reinforces that they consider betrayal part of the God of War canon.
Although because that storyline was never finished, it's technically skippable if you really.
All right. So, anything else you want to say in closing about the? Wait, there's more.
I do.
One more thing.
I do have some other God of War memorabilia. I felt it would be too much to try to.
Bring it all.
Yeah. But I did remember. We went to this comic store, I think. And we went to this store because Dan Gilvezan was there for reading of part of his book about working on Transformers.
Over here somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has sort of nostalgia kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so while I was there, I got my copy of his book signed.
Right.
So while we were there, we looked around a bit,
And found this.
one thing they had was this Kratos action figure.
Based on God of War 3.
Yes.
I think I bought like a Hot Wheels version of the lunar, not the lunar rover, but the Mars rover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool little story when it's still there or not.
I forgot that was. I forgot about that.
No, it's fine. It's not part of the story.
Yeah.
But they had some cool stuff there. Got this for like $20. I don't know how much this is worth now.
Okay.
Sealed is because like clamshell packaging.
Cut it open.
Yeah.
All right. So it goes back in the security vault in case somebody's wondering. All right.
So, anyway, the God of War series has lasted 20 years for a reason.
Uh-huh.
And it's a series that we would highly recommend.
Okay.
Yes.
It's easily one of our favorite PlayStation properties.
Yes.
And we hope it has continued success in the future. Ideally, give us Egypt already.
One more recap. All right. Okay. Anything else?
I think that was kind of it as far as God of War is concerned, but it is my favorite video game franchises.
All right. I guess we could also talk about fidget toys.
Yes. If you're looking for a silent fidget toy, you can use our affiliate code, Marty and Eli, to get 10% off your purchase at getono.com.
All right.
Listen to how silent.
If you're watching this on YouTube later, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment below if you have any God of War memories you would like to share.
Okay. So until next time, I'm David Hankins,
I'm Paul Hankins.
I'm Trevor Hankins.
and you've been on the air with Power Squared.